Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting and good communication all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're answering the question, can a person with ADHD live a normal life? So yes, a person with ADHD can live a normal life, but I'm guessing you want more information than just that. In this video, we're going to talk about how normal life can seem difficult for a person with ADHD, but what they can do to start creating a pathway for normal living for themselves. I'm going to be applying the information that I'm sharing in this video today to people who are trying to help their children have more normal lives, but also to adults who are feeling like, is all lost for me? I know that there are more people being diagnosed with ADHD than ever before, and many people are finding a lot of peace because at least finally they know now why they process differently than other people. So there's something that you need to understand, and that's that in our current day and age, we are obsessed with sameness. The more the media culture has taken over our family cultures, church cultures, national and social cultures, the more we start to see ourselves through this media lens. Like, wait, we're not like what we want to be. There's this perfect picture out there, this image-based society of what a person needs to look like, act like, think like, what success means, and we compare ourselves to that all the time. So not too long ago, people were much more accepting of differences than they are now. Now, everybody wants to know exactly why they are different, because we do like excuses in our culture as well. So we do need to be careful that we don't take our diagnoses, whether it's new or whether we've been dealing with it for a while, and ever say, this is my excuse. I have ADHD, so that's an excuse. We definitely don't want our children making excuses like that, because they could have failure to launch, failure to thrive if we don't help them see themselves as normal and moving forward in a normal direction. So years ago, I did therapeutic treatment care as a foster parent for troubled teens. They were all between the ages of 12 and 18. And these teens came to my home to get treatment to help them launch out into the world as successful adults. Many of them had multiple non-neurotypical things that were going on. ADHD was one of the most common things that I dealt with. They also had oftentimes trauma and other experiences that they had gone through, such as abuse and stuff that they were dealing with. So they had a lot that they were handling. I could have coddled them and told them, oh, you've had such a hard life. You don't have to know how to behave well. You don't need to control yourself because bad things have happened for you, in your life, or because your brain works differently. Well, as much as we should embrace the differences and not feel like we have to be the same as every other person around us, we should see as a society that there is a path forward that hopefully takes us all upward, okay, as opposed to like downward or flatlining. We need to see ourselves as progressing. We need to be empowered. So my job was to understand what was going on with these teens in my home and then to empower them in a forward direction so that they could feel confident and secure becoming an adult in this world with a different way of processing. And you know what? It was incredibly effective. In fact, it was so effective that people started to ask me to be on programs like the World's Strictest Parents and to write books and talk to people about their own ability to control themselves. People saw from my experience on the World's Strictest Parents program back in 2009, which you can see here on this channel and on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com. Actually, you can see it there too. They saw that there really was no excuse. Your upbringing, your personality, your anything, you could become a better version of yourself if you wanted to, and I could help people do it. And so after that, well, the phone just never stopped ringing, and here we are today. So let's talk about what can a person do then to live a normal life. But before we talk about some key things that you can do or do to help your children live a normal life, click subscribe now. This channel is a channel meant to empower you, to give you and your children the skills and principles that you need to see the world differently, to make the changes that you want to see within yourself. So subscribe now so that you don't just stop at this little first scratch of the surface. So what is a normal life? What does that even like? How would you even know what a normal life is when you process things non-neurotypical, right? So ADHD means that you see the world through a different lens. So are you ever going to be completely like everybody else? No, you're not. But can you understand your differences and their differences? Yes. So one of the most important things that you can do is understand ADHD. Understand that you get bored easily, that you like to interrupt people, that you could be moody or depressed sometimes. Understand that you have a different connection with the reward center of your brain, and so you start looking for weird things to entertain you that other people might not. Understand that you could hyper-focus on one thing but not be able to focus on anything else. Understand some of the things about ADHD that make you unique. But now understand other people too. Here's the thing, nobody's normal. What does normal mean anyway, okay? Either nobody's normal or everybody's normal, okay? So normal means square. That's what it means, okay? So if you think of square, there's like these little right angles at all four sides of the square, okay? Normal means that a person has their lines, lined up in a way that's very systematic. Okay, so a normal person has a system that's similar to a lot of other people around them for how they handle their problems or how they go through life. So normal people learn to read at about age 6. That doesn't mean everyone does. What if you have dyslexia? You might not learn to read at age 6, okay? Normal people eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but that doesn't mean everybody does. Some people do better only eating lunch and dinner. So there are differences with every single person. So if we say, okay, what are the guidelines that most people follow or try to follow? That's our best gauge that we can come up with for normal. So how does a normal person process? Well, in relation to what? Okay, in relation to conflict. How does a normal person process? Let's talk about that. What are some of the parameters that could make a person feel like they are in alignment when they do not agree with somebody else? When a person is healthy in their relationships and in their communications, then normal would be listening to another person's point of view all the way. No interruptions. Then saying, okay, I see that this is where you're coming from, but here's my point of view. Sharing their point of view, not expecting the other person to change their mind necessarily, meaning they don't get to have control, they're just sharing. Then listening to what the other person has to say, maybe discussing it a little bit further, still not interrupting. Then, whatever the other person says about it, because you can't really control the other person, saying, okay, that's what they think, right? And then dropping the subject, meaning not talking about it anymore, not whining or complaining or hitting the person or taking their stuff or whatever it is. Think road rage. Not doing it. Not flipping the person off or cutting them off or whatever. Dropping the subject. So what I just talked about right now are actually 2 skills that I teach parents how to teach children. Those 2 skills are disagreeing appropriately and accepting no answers. When you are in a situation where you don't get along with another person, you need to know how to look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say that you understand the other person's point of view, share your point of view, listen to what they have to say okay, and drop the subject. That's disagreeing appropriately. I also suggested that you needed to be able to drop the subject when someone cut you off in traffic. When someone cuts you off in traffic, that is a no answer. And by the way, flipping somebody the bird out the window is not a disagree appropriately, okay? That's you not keeping a calm body and not dropping the subject. If you are going to stay completely calm and accept the no answer that person cut in front of you, you look at the situation, or the person, you keep a calm face, voice, and body, you say, okay, that happened, or you disagree appropriately, if it's possible, and then you drop the subject. Those 2 skills of the 4 basic skills help a person be normal in a time where people might not get along, or in a time where conflict might normally happen. So those are just 2 things that normal people learn how to do. Now, we could make a case for the fact that there are a lot of people out there who do not know how to disagree appropriately or accept no answers. For that matter, there are many people who don't know how to accept consequences or follow instructions either. Those are the other 2 of the 4 basic skills. There are so many people that don't know how to calmly correct another person or how to get calm when they feel themselves losing control. Those are other self-government skills. So learning the skills of self-government can actually help a person become normal or feel like they have more control over their lives. So what can you do to learn self-government? Go to teachingselfgovernment.com. Teachingselfgovernment.com is all about learning self-government, teaching yourself and your children those skills that you need for success, creating an environment where people can open up, discuss, and plan for how to solve some of the problems that might be getting in the way. It's all about creating unity in your relationships and empowerment for you individually. Now, since you have stayed to the end of this video, I have a free gift for you. On my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, there is something called the Calm Parenting Toolkit. And so if you click on the link in the description below this video right now, which says teachselfgov.com/toolkit, then you will find the Calm Parenting Toolkit and you will be able to get it for free. Click on the link in the description now, and I will see you there as you start on the pathway to calmness, which is the best first stop for learning self-government and self-control for you and your children. I'll see you there.